II, lasting from 1939 to 1945, was one of the most significant events in human history. It involved over 30 countries and resulted in immense loss of life and property. The war started with Germany's invasion of Poland and quickly spread across Europe, Asia, and Africa. The war was fought between two major alliances, the Allies and the Axis. The Allies primarily included the United States, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and China. The Axis consisted of Germany, Italy, and Japan. World War II saw the use of advanced technology and tactics, including tanks, airplanes, and naval vessels. Despite the devastation, the war led to significant advancements in science, medicine, and international relations.
The German Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, was a revolutionary military strategy employed by Germany in the early stages of World War II. It focused on rapid surprise attacks using a combination of tanks, infantry, and air support.
The Blitzkrieg was first tested during the invasion of Poland in 1939, but it was during the Battle of France in 1940 that it truly demonstrated its effectiveness. The German forces bypassed the heavily fortified Maginot Line by advancing through the Ardennes forest, which the Allies had deemed impassable for tanks.
Within weeks, the German army had encircled and defeated the French and British troops, leading to the fall of France. Paris was occupied, and an armistice was signed on June 22, 1940.
The success of the Blitzkrieg in France solidified Germany's dominance in Western Europe. It forced the Allies to re-evaluate their tactics and prepare for a prolonged and challenging conflict.
The Battle of France marked a significant turning point in World War II. The rapid defeat of France also left Britain standing alone against the Axis powers, leading to the next crucial battle in the war, the Battle of Britain. The Dunkirk Evacuation, also known as Operation Dynamo, was a remarkable event during the early stages of World War II. Following the rapid advance of German forces through France, the British Expeditionary Force and other Allied troops found themselves trapped on the beaches of Dunkirk.
From May 27th to June 4th, 1940, a massive evacuation effort was launched to rescue the stranded soldiers. The operation involved a flotilla of over 800 vessels, including naval ships, fishing boats, and civilian yachts.
The Dunkirk evacuation was a demonstration of bravery and resourcefulness. Although it was technically a retreat, the operation was hailed as a miracle of deliverance by British Prime Minister Winston Churchill.
This event had significant implications for the rest of the war. The successful evacuation meant that a large portion of the British Army was saved, allowing Britain to continue fighting.
The Dunkirk evacuation highlighted the importance of logistics, coordination, and the will to fight. The soldiers who were rescued would later play crucial roles in subsequent battles, including the defense of Britain and the eventual liberation of Europe. The successful defense of Britain also had a profound impact on the course of the war. The battle set the stage for future Allied offensives and ensured that Britain would continue to play a central role in the fight against the Axis powers. The Battle of Britain was significant for several reasons. It was the first major defeat for Germany in World War II and marked a turning point in the conflict. As the battle progressed, the Luftwaffe shifted its focus to bombing major cities, including London, in what became known as the Blitz. However, the resilience of the British population and the continued effectiveness of the RAF thwarted these efforts. The Luftwaffe initially targeted British airfields, radar stations, and aircraft factories in an attempt to cripple the RAF. Despite being outnumbered, the RAF employed innovative tactics and made effective use of radar technology to detect and intercept German aircraft. The Battle of Britain was a pivotal conflict that took place between July and October 1940. Following the fall of France, Germany sought to gain air superiority over Britain in preparation for a planned invasion known as Operation Sea Lion. Section 5. The Battle of Stalingrad.
It took place on the Eastern Front, where the German army aimed to capture the city of Stalingrad and secure the oil fields of the Caucasus.
The German forces, led by General Friedrich Paulus, launched a massive assault on Stalingrad. The Battle of Stalingrad, fought between August 1942 and February 1943, was one of the most brutal and decisive battles of World War II.
The battle quickly devolved into intense urban warfare, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The battle is often regarded as the turning point in the war against Germany.
As winter set in, the Soviet Union launched a counter-offensive encircling the German Sixth Army. Despite orders from Hitler to hold their positions, the encircled German forces eventually surrendered in February 1943.
The defeat marked the first major capitulation of the German army in the war. The victory at Stalingrad halted the German advance into the Soviet Union and marked the beginning of a series of Soviet offensives that would eventually push the Germans back to Berlin.
Section 6. The Battle of Midway.
The Battle of Midway, fought from June 4th to June 7th, 1942, was a crucial naval battle in the Pacific theater of World War II. It took place 6 months after Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor and marked a significant turning point in the war against Japan.
The battle was fought between the United States Navy and the Imperial Japanese Navy near Midway Atoll.
However, American codebreakers had deciphered Japanese communication, giving the US Navy a crucial advantage.
The battle began with a Japanese attack on Midway Atoll, but American carrier-based aircraft launched a counterattack. In a series of decisive strikes, the US forces sank 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, dealing a devastating blow to the Japanese fleet.
The Battle of Midway was significant for several reasons. It halted Japanese expansion in the Pacific and shifted the balance of naval power in favor of the Allies.
The victory at Midway allowed the United States to take the initiative in the Pacific theater. The battle highlighted the importance of intelligence, planning, and carrier warfare in modern naval conflicts. Section 7. The D-Day Invasion.
The D-Day invasion, also known as Operation Overlord, took place on June 6, 1944, and was one of the most significant military operations of World War II. It involved the Allied invasion of Nazi-occupied France and marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe.
The invasion was a massive undertaking involving land, sea, and air forces from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and other Allied nations.
The landings faced fierce resistance from German forces, particularly at Omaha Beach, where American troops encountered heavy casualties. Despite the initial challenges, the Allies managed to secure the beachheads and push inland.
The success of the invasion was due to meticulous planning, deception strategies such as Operation Fortitude, and the bravery of the soldiers involved.
The D-Day invasion was a turning point in World War II. It marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. The successful landings allowed the Allies to establish a foothold in Europe, leading to the liberation of France and the eventual defeat of Germany.
Section 8. The Battle of the Bulge. The Battle of the Bulge, fought between December 16, 1944 and January 25, 1945, was the last major German offensive on the Western Front during World War II.
It took place in the Ardennes region of Belgium and Luxembourg and was intended to split the Allied forces, capture the vital port of Antwerp, and encircle and destroy 4 Allied armies.
The initial assault created a bulge in the Allied front lines, giving the battle its name. Despite the initial success, the German offensive was eventually halted by the determined resistance of the Allied forces.
The 101st Airborne Division's defense of Bastogne was particularly notable. The weather improved, allowing the Allies to launch counterattacks and utilize their air superiority.
The Battle of the Bulge was significant for several reasons. It was the largest and bloodiest battle fought by the United States during World War II. With over 89,000 American casualties, the failure of the German offensive depleted their reserves and weakened their ability to defend against subsequent Allied advances. Section 9. The Battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa. The battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa were 2 of the bloodiest and most significant battles in the Pacific theater of World War II.
The Battle of Iwo Jima, fought from February 19th to March 26, 1945, was aimed at capturing the strategically important island of Iwo Jima. The island's airfields were crucial for launching attacks on the Japanese mainland.
The Battle of Okinawa, fought from April 1st to June 22, 1945, was the largest amphibious assault in the Pacific War. Okinawa was seen as a staging area for the planned invasion of Japan.
The significance of these battles lay in their strategic and psychological impact. The capture of Iwo Jima and Okinawa brought American forces closer to Japan, providing bases for air raids and a potential invasion.
The battles of Iwo Jima and Okinawa underscored the challenges of the Pacific War. These battles paved the way for the final phase of the war and the eventual surrender of Japan. Section 10. The Atomic Bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945 were 2 of the most consequential events in World War II.
On August 6, 1945, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on the city of Hiroshima. The explosion resulted in immense destruction, killing an estimated 140,000 people by the end of the year. 3 days later, on August 9th, a second atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, causing approximately 74,000 deaths by the end of 1945.
The bombings had a profound impact on Japan and the world. The immense power of the atomic bombs demonstrated the devastating potential of nuclear weapons.
The decision to use atomic bombs remains a subject of debate. Supporters argue that the bombings hastened the end of the war and saved countless lives by avoiding a prolonged invasion of Japan. The bombings also underscored the devastating human cost of war and the importance of striving for peace and disarmament.
Section 11. Conclusion. The end of World War II. World War II officially ended with the signing of the Japanese Instrument of Surrender on September 2, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay. The war had profound and lasting effects on the world. The conclusion of World War II led to the establishment of the United Nations, an organization aimed at preventing future conflicts and promoting international cooperation. The war resulted in significant territorial changes, decolonization, and the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers. Reflecting on the key battles and strategies of World War II highlights the complexity and scale of the conflict. Each battle, from the Blitzkrieg in France to the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, played a crucial role in shaping the outcome of the war. As we remember the events of World War II, it is important to honor the memory of those who fought and suffered. Their sacrifices paved the way for a more peaceful and just world. The legacy of World War II serves as a reminder of the importance of striving for peace, understanding, and cooperation among nations.